Task 20F. John Reeves did an extra 4 hours of work. Change the spreadsheet you created in Task 20E to show the new figures. So we open up Task 20E. We update John Reeves' figure through to 21. Changes the average up to 16.8. Okay, so what we're wanting to do is the manager has asked us to change or display the average number of hours worked, display as an integer value or as rounded to the nearest whole hour. Okay, so what we'll do is over here next to average, we'll put in a new header and we'll call it integer, and we'll display the value there as an integer. And next to it we'll have rounded, round. Okay, so we'll display this value as rounded or an integer value. If I say this is equal to that, I get the value put through. Okay, sorry. What we're going to do is we want to display the integer value here. So I will input the formula equals integer, right? int. Double click on that, opens up the brackets. And the number that I want to use is this one here, and then enter or close the brackets, and it comes up like that, showing the integer part of the number that I had. I then also want to round it off to the nearest whole hour. Okay, so in here I'm going to put a new function is equal to round. Okay, round that number, comma. If I press the comma, I move through. This function has got a two-part. Firstly, you identify the number that you want rounded, and then secondly, after that, you define the number of digits you want to round it to. I want to round it off to 0 digits in this particular case. Enter, and I get that as an answer. Okay, you can put in various values for the number of decimal places, and that obviously will change our rounding. If I make it rounded off to 2, it will give me decimal places of 2 decimal places. So if I had to change this figure to be 16.236 or whatever as an example, and I've rounded off to 2 decimal places, it will now show as 16.24. I then want to round it down to 1 decimal place, and it shows me as 16.2. I can show it as a whole number, so round it off to 0 decimal places, 16, or I can show it as rounded off to -1, and that means it will round off to the nearest 10. Okay, -2, it will round it off to the nearest 100, so it will give me a value of 0. Okay, so that is how you can use the round function. Right, going back to where we were at, that is task 20F nearly complete. They ask that you print the copies showing these values. All right, 2 copies, so one to show the function, control tilde. You can see the functions that have been input there, and it's not just values that you calculated yourself, but it's actual functions. Control tilde, and you can print the values rather than the functions. I just want to make this bold just to highlight it as a heading. Save this as task 20F.